Hello and welcome to Watchin' Stuff, the show about watching stuff. I'm Nero, and with me is my Canadian counterpart, WHYBOY, and today we're going into something very special. We don't have time for final countdowns. We started like 30 seconds early. We're rebels without a cause.
I was excited.
We can't afford awesome music, so trumpet noises. We're here today to talk about what could arguably be described as like breaking news in terms of on YouTube. As many of us probably know by this point, we've heard about Change the Channel and the many incidents that occurred through Channel Awesome.
Yes,
And we have with us. Oh, did you want to take over a little bit, Taylor?
yes. I just want to say that this is basically the 1 year anniversary of the whole debacle with everything with Change the Channel and everything coming forward. And,
And we didn't get anything.
Oh,
We didn't get them anything.
yeah. Oh, we got them this. It's a few days late, but we have somebody here who gave them a wonderful present, and that would be Cinematic Venom. Rob, say hi, Rob.
Hello, everyone.
I gotta ask, like, Rob, it's a year later since the controversy happened, and sadly, much to the accurate prediction of Brad Jones, who had said it'll blow over, people won't care. It kind of did. So, what
Yeah.
was it that like inspired you to come back with a documentary, like doing like a chronological breakdown of what the hell happened?
Obviously, I get a lot of people saying I did it for views and all that, but this wasn't intended to be a documentary. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the end of last year. There was a lot of YouTube drama with KSI and his brother,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to do a video kind of. I'll admit at that time it was capitalizing on the views, so I wanted to create a new show where I review a YouTube channel. So I reviewed KSI's brother, Deji. It didn't do that well. It was like maybe 500 views, but people really liked it. So they wanted one, obviously, on Channel Awesome. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I started working on just a normal episode of the show. But as I was writing the script and researching, because there was still that I didn't realize the year prior, the script, it was just getting such a big project. I was like, this can't be a normal episode. So I was like, fuck it, it's documentary now.
And you made it like an hour and a half documentary, and it's very detailed. It just lists everything that we really just needed to know about the Change the Channel and Channel Awesome in general.
There's a lot of intellect in the chat because Channel Awesome still has 1 million subscribers, pussy.
Yes, because
It has a million. What's a million subscriber pussy? Did you mean to put like a comma in there?
that's a high class one.
So it's really just a cat that is like balding and has a beard and wears a necktie and a black cap.
Don't ruin cats for me.
This ain't gonna ruin cats. What are you, crazy? Cats are gonna be around forever.
Get over it.
So as we proceed, we're gonna have the downfall of Channel Awesome, your wonderful documentary, playing in the back as we discuss.
Yes, but you
With
can
perfect music, and everyone was a big fan of the music in this.
Oh yes, definitely. Like that was.
I still argue it's more professional than anything Channel Awesome had put out.
Oh, oh yeah, definitely. Like I really do like how you edited this documentary. Like the music aside, you definitely structured it very well, as it told like a really complete story about the whole event. That really just drew you through it from beginning to end.
I mean, it was depressing. Let's all be clear about that. Like, it was depressing.
Some parts are quite difficult to watch, especially just the Juario stuff, I think.
Juario, was it Sean Fowles? A lot of the stuff with him was friggin' gut wrenching. So let's start at the beginning of, what was your like affiliation in terms of Channel Awesome? Did you I think you mentioned in your documentary that you had tried out for the channel but didn't get on there, which, hey man, I guess bullet dodged, am I right?
Yeah. Some people actually accused me of only making the documentary because I didn't get on there. So I applied, didn't get in, waited 9 years, and then thought, right, this is my chance.
Yeah, you did it. Your master plan has all come together.
I was inspired by Brad, and then after Brad, I found Doug. Usually, it's the other way around. I've interacted with Brad actually. This is when YouTube allowed private messages, and asked him for advice. And yeah, he was courteous to me. He replied, gave me advice. Really cool guy. By Rob, he was professional and he was fine. He wasn't able to give me feedback, but he pointed towards one of their talent relations people. I think it might have been Mike Ellis, but I don't know. I can't remember. And he was fine as well. Other than that, no, I didn't really have any communication with any of them until obviously the Tamra stuff last year.
Yeah, that was sort of the moment where it sort of became personal for you in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, I won't even lie. Like, I was a huge fan of Tamra, so when a subscriber sent me like the intro she made, I squealed like a little girl. Like, oh, holy shit! Like, it was insane to me. I mean, obviously she left her comment, and that was mid like the change the channel stuff. So that's what pissed me off. I think that's what changed it, because at first I was doing the sketches, and I won't even lie. I was just being a dick. Like the channel stuff came out, and I was like, people are being like, this is a really dark time. Let's bring some light to the situation and be a dick to Channel Awesome at the same time. So, I dressed like Doug and I made fun of them, and people found it really funny. I think the Tamra thing, what triggered it, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I did. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I did a diss track, and the first serious one I actually did.
I don't know what it says about me. When Tamra joined up, I didn't even notice the difference between her and the previous girl. I didn't even remotely notice where it's like, oh, there was a change. I never noticed for like a while. Then it's like one day it was just like, oh, that's a different girl. I don't know what that says about me as a person.
Probably not a positive thing.
I was never there for the skits. I originally came to like, I think like where a lot of us were watching Nostalgia Critic, where it's like, it's movies we might have seen or shows we might have remembered being at that age, and we wanted to hear his opinion on it. And then you could tell that he started to move further and further away. And there's some admiration in the concept of keeping things fresh. Like, you have to change things up. That's, especially if it's a long-running project. I mean, he's been at this for, like, what, a decade by now?
Yeah, you can get very burnt out if you just go on it for that long, to stick into, like, once like singular idea for your show. You have to evolve with your craft.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing where it's like, if you watch James Rolfe's content, James Rolfe's always kind of really mixing it up a bit, because even going back to like season 1 of the Nerd era, you had him doing like Smoke Machines and like the Die Hard, video where he's talking about the Die Hard video game, and you could tell like each little thing felt like almost like an adventure in and of itself for when he made those videos. As opposed to, I could see where Doug would get annoyed or like think it's become like stilted, because he just sits in front of a camera and talks into it, and that's it. He really doesn't shake it up that much.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I could understand, like, he started doing the skits and stuff, but then it felt like the skits it felt like he only kind of kept the Nostalgia Critic around just to you have a place for the skits to go.
I can see that.
Because, like, no one accepted demo reel, and it was like a bitter resentment.
Yeah, it seemed like more he wanted to show his comedic side and such, but he was just sort of like stuck in the Nostalgia Critic box.
Well, I don't think it helps that, like, and this isn't like a bash towards the audience or anything. It's just the fact that demo reel did not do well at all. Like, let's not blow sunshine up anyone's bum and like say like it wasn't that bad. No, it was pretty, if we will. We'll describe it with a sound effect. And like, I feel like at that point where it's like they didn't accept it, I'll show them, and then he stuck it into his reviews, and it's like, oh, so now we have to deal with this.
Yeah.
It's like the dad angry at you for not eating your vegetables. So, when did you first hear about the controversy? Like, did you hear like the rest of us through the grapevine of like Twitter and various readings of the document. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, we went through that document.
Yeah, we did. Like, we made our own watching stuff, just going through the document, like, from top to bottom and everything. And we had fun, in quotation marks, discussing it.
Well, the thing is, I think I was quite late learning about it, because there's a guy on YouTube called Cinematic Excrement, and he told me about the famous successful game show. But I didn't really know the details of it, so I kind of it went in one ear out the other. And then it was the last Nostalgia Critic I ever watched, was his review of the Jungle Book remake last year. And obviously I hated it because he insults anyone who liked it. As soon as it finished, there was like this buzz on Twitter and it was going everywhere. And I just sat there reading these tweets. Like Allison was there, Lewis, and they were just sharing all their stories. This is insane. And then when the Google Doc dropped, I'll admit I couldn't read the whole thing, and it wasn't laziness, it was just so difficult to read. So I skimmed through like the producers that I knew. The entire thing until this year when I did the documentary, and I got even more pissed off because there were things that I just missed. And then I went and found obviously Liz was in, but like seeing her video as well just really pissed me off even more.
Well, like, that's why I don't understand the brand loyalty. I mean, like, I understand the brand loyalty from a meta standpoint, where it's like, I get it, these people made you laugh, but at the end of the day, people don't seem to acknowledge you don't know Doug, you don't know Brad or any of these people.
Yeah, these are all just people that are just creating stuff like miles and miles away from you that you'll never really meet in person, except for like 5 seconds at a convention at most. So we can't just sort of discuss them as if we had sort of a personal connection with each and every single one of them.
Like, you're seeing a minute portion of that individual through their videos, and then you're getting another minute portion through a interaction, maybe through a convention. Why have such a loyalty when you don't know them as people? That's the thing that kind of gets me.
Yeah, it's just really sickening when you just see, like, after everything that sort of happened, that you get these sort of two camps that are basically like, everyone, like, us three are just basically like, oh wow, they did some awful stuff, we want to expect more from them and all that, and then the other side is being like, nah, who cares, just make my content for me.
That was the worst one I saw, is when someone came out and they said, like, I don't care if Justin raped that girl, just make the stuff I like. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, how the hell do you sleep at night? How the hell do you sleep at night being like, yeah, he did some things that are like reprehensible and they completely protected him. But man, oh man, do I want to hear Doug's commentary on like Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that's the important thing in all of this.
And Suburban Nights is quite awkward to watch now because Justin played the Goblin King, and he's surrounded by women in that.
Yeah. Oh, someone made like a meme from the very first interaction in Kick-Ass, where someone's like, that moment where everyone should have like saw the telltale signs of Justin, and they mentioned something about like a girl, like an underage girl, and Justin just kind of like nods in approval, and it's like,
oh yeah,
oh, hindsight. Like, that's creepy. I think like most of us, I had discovered Channel Awesome, at sort of like the dawn when things were coming into play. I had followed Doug for a while, and then I'd fallen off for a bit, came back on here and there. Like many, I kind of stuck with always the big three, which were like Doug, Lewis, and Noah. Noah, unfortunately, had his, I don't know what you would call it at this point, but like Noah's kind of moved away and doing something. I don't really know what.
Yeah, just his own thing at the moment, I would guess.
Yeah, he and he stepped away and did his own thing. I've met with Lewis. I've almost worked with Lewis, which is always kind of a bummer because there was like a setup that I was gonna maybe do shirt designs for him, and then his movie came up, so that took precedent, and then like never went back to those shirt designs. I was like, man, I was really kind of looking forward to doing that. But I remember my first big interaction with them was, I don't know if you guys remember this. They used to do, back in the day when they had a soul, they used to do a like donation drive with like the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah.
And I was so honored. I mean, at the time, now in hindsight, it's like, oh God. I was given the privilege to be on a private call with Justin, and he was giving like sound advice, and he was giving me motivation, and it was so heartfelt. And then when he went to a convention here, I didn't get to go, but um my friend got a picture with Justin and sent it to me because he had said, I know you would have appreciated this, and he was happy to take the photo. And after like hearing of the suicide, I did get into a state of depression about it, because this was a guy that was just so kind and so compassionate. No one else on Channel Awesome was giving me the time of day when I was starting out, but this guy did. And then the wondrous big reveal happened, and I'm just like, what is this? What fucked up wonderland did I enter?
Yeah, it just only makes it even worse that knowing now that we know Channel Awesome knew it for a lot longer than any of us knew it for, and just sort of just played the card being like, oh, we should all feel sad for Juario passing and everything, even though he did all this. But
Actually, whatever happened to Doug's talk show? Did that even ever go anywhere?
It sort of ended after like where he tried to shoot the one with Obscurus Lupa, because that whole shoot went down the crapper for obvious reasons.
I think like he started it as this talk show, and everyone thought, oh, he's going to get these big names. Who did he interview? James Rolfe, Lindsay Ellis. I think the biggest name he got was, I mean, no offense to them, but they were like working with him, and then Mara Wilson.
Well, that'd be like if Taylor and I were like, man, on our Watchin stuff, we're gonna have a special guest, and then like I turn over, hey Taylor, what'd you do? Hey, man, how was breakfast?
The breakfast's pretty good.
I think the biggest star they got, he actually did get Tommy Wiseau, which is quite a funny episode, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Like it's weird because like he has people pop up on his shows. Like there's the whole thing with Don Bluth, the people who worked on Animaniacs, Dante Bosco, and it's weird because like he seemingly got more connections than you would have thought for a guy who makes funny, yuck videos on YouTube. So you think like doing the whole kind of talk show podcast thing would have been really good for him, because like Kevin Smith does that on his show Fat Man on Batman, where he talks to different voice actors and writers in the community. So, when the news hit, I mean, would you say that this is arguably like, if we're comparing to other like big world tragedies, would you say like this was like the Titanic of like internet situation? Well, I'm trying to think, because where it's like, well, what do you compare it to? Is it like the Titanic? Is it like Auschwitz bad? What's the scale here?
I'd say Titanic. I think, like I was telling you guys earlier before we started streaming, I think the Titanic analogy was what got me blocked. So for you viewers, like I would just tweet Channel Awesome random things, like it was just to be a dick again. And then I was reviewing Titanic last year, and I just sent them a screenshot of the ship sinking. I found your website, and I think that was the one that got me blocked.
Would Doug be Billy Zane?
Yep.
Yeah.
He'd like grab, I'll see that. He'd grab like Holly or something and use her as an escape. And then get blocked by Tamara. I did the diss track, and she didn't like it.
Yeah, it's just simple as that.
It's kind of weird for a channel that emphasizes, like they used to champion, like, it's good to have your own opinion, and like it's like de-evolved into cyberbullying basically.
Yeah, and basically just us thinking just like our thoughts are better than your thoughts. If you don't think like us, you're stupid.
Well, it's like when we were watching a documentary, you had that whole bit with Doug where like he just tirades with Rob next to him, and they're talking about the Jungle Book movie, and it's like, wow, what happened to like everyone's opinion is valid? What happened to that mentality?
Yeah, and you sort of like really laid this out in your documentary, Rob. It's sort of almost like this evolving sort of ideal that Doug really had. Like going back to, I believe it was Kick-Ass, yeah, where he had the sort of moment being like, oh, I'm screwed, I don't know if we're gonna do this. Then we had Angry Joe and everybody saying like, oh no, we can pull this together and basically make this all come together. You're good, Doug, you're good. That almost felt like sort of the clicking moment being like, I am good. I can do anything I want.
Oh no, that's actually a very good point. Like maybe that. Oh,
I want to see. I want to see that documentary then, like the documentary of the documentary, where it's like we're gonna cast big name celebrities to play these characters. So like Angry Joe will be played by, I don't know, Javier Bardem. I guess would be a good choice as much as anything. And then I don't know, Doug. I'm thinking Steve Buscemi. So he's a great actor. So I mean, we're gonna get better acting from Steve Buscemi than we did from Doug, if we're all being honest here. And then we'll have that moment where Javier Joe will tell him about like we could do this, and then we'll just cut to like, you know, Doug in the other room. I am the Messiah of cinema. What?
So yeah, Mars Girl's actually watching now, but yeah, so that might have actually been the reason they were making Suburban Nights, and Doug kind of bought into his own hype. He's like, they're right, I can do anything. And then we got to Boldly Flee, which I enjoyed, but back there's so many moments where I can just imagine Doug typing the script. He's like, yeah, I am God. Like, there's literally a scene where Film Brain tells him he's the best critic on the internet.
Yeah, definitely.
And as we all know, the internet's a very small place that's never it has a very, very shallow pool, much like a thimble filled with spit. That is the internet.
Yeah, no, definitely. Oh, God.
Like, even in that entire trilogy, just Doug wrote Film Brain to want to fuck him. Like,
I would have thought it would be more groundbreaking if that was actually in there, where it's like, and then Film Brain drops to his knees, and like a circus seal, he plays him like a trombone.
It's just literally all three films. Film Brain's just on his dick, and then obviously the second one had Luke kind of in the mix, but it's just so weird.
My thing is like, did no one ever notice? Like, I'm just kind of curious now. Like, or every anniversary, like people came back, and it's like, did anyone ever mention that? Where it's like, Doug, we noticed that we're all kind of like blowing you in each and every one of these anniversaries you make. Just something you'd like to share with the rest of the class?
Well, there is the point where Sad Panda was just like, I don't really want to act like you. But Doug always gave him the notes, being like, "No, act like this. Yeah. Act all energetic."
You know what? That's probably my favorite part of the documentary, because like Sad Panda's accent makes like almost everything he says funnier, and I just love the part where he's like, and then Doug goes, "I want you to. You should say it like this." Just the way he says that. Cartoon character.
I'm thinking like, because like Doug's like, I'm cinematic Jesus. There should be a point if we were like remaking the documentaries with celebs where it's like, hey Doug, we want to talk to you about this part of the script, and then all of a sudden he's standing there in like a bathrobe, and he's got film reel tape wrapped around his head like the crown of thorns, and he's like, "Yes, my son. What you got going on there, Douglas? What's happening? I am cinematic Jesus."
To be fair though, he basically did do that in the M. Bison outfit.
Yeah. I guess when you stop and think, like, oh wow, you stop and think about it. Oh yeah, there's the part where it's like, you know, someone addresses him. Are you going to talk about this controversy? Still,
yeah, I'm not gonna.
No one left on that remaining channel has come forth in any capacity, and
it's only right now. He said it's only right now.
It's really weird. Do you think it's like? Do you think a lot of it was like to defend the brand and like the big picture of things, that like not saying an apology is admitting wrongdoing, which they just simply weren't going to accept?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, that would probably be mostly it, because they are just sort of trying to be all business mindset, even though they have terrible business practices.
Well, like if you ever hear about the behind the scenes stuff, it's like Doug had like said, "Oh, I don't like to do conventions," and it's like, well, why? And his reasoning was, "I had a bad experience at a convention." Conventions are what's going to be a lifeblood to your business
as an online creator.
Yeah, like you should, by logic, you should be doing VidCon every year as a special guest.
Yeah,
Like, as far as I'm, like, there's a story in this doc where Mike Jevons says that he was at a convention and then a big producer was given a drawing from a fan and they just kind of threw it in the trash. And there is a Twitter thread, and I'm friends with Mike, and I'm not going to press him and ask who this producer was, but from the sounds of it, like it's Doug. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't think Mike's done conventions in the States, and I'm not entirely sure if Channel Awesome have done tours in the UK, but basically someone replied to Mike and said, "I've been me. I remember giving Doug a picture and then finding it in the trash later on, but the circumstances and the location didn't match, so Mike just said, no, this was a different time, so maybe it happened twice." So to me, that it could have been Doug.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
There is one where I saw a video on YouTube where Doug was at a convention and someone gave him, like, they drew him loads of pictures, and he just, I don't know, he seemed to like want to get it over with. It seemed very rushed. Like, he just took them and he just didn't seem that appreciative. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I sort of get that feeling, like when you saw clips of his house, he does paste a lot of like artwork on the walls, but it definitely feels like he puts the best artwork on the walls. Like, if you get what I'm saying, I think he's just sort of has sort of a high standard for himself.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I respect Jazza from the channel Draw with Jazza, because he took a bunch of the artwork he got from people, and when he got what he calls Studio 3, because he started one place, he got another one, and then he moved up again to another place. In the newest place, he has one set where he built like a faux room, so it's like, the wall on the sides, and then the back wall, he used the beautiful artwork as like wallpaper of all the fan work people gave to him to like immortalize it.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's so endearing. And I mean, that's the thing is, we're outsiders on this. We are. That's the truth of it. And when we see the stuff with Doug and how he reacts, be it at a convention or through like blogs, we're seeing it from an outside perspective. So, we do take that into account. But there has to be something said where it's like, even from the outsider perspective, it's like, you ever notice this person's kind of a jackass?
Yeah, I guess it goes back to that sort of a blind loyalty sort of thing, or just blind hatred, because we don't really know anything like this. So when the doc comes out, there are going to be those two sorts of people that have been like, either believe it or not believe it. But I think just we more have to have the discussion now when it's like if 40 people are coming together to basically say
they're
something.
They're all lying.
Yeah, they're 40 people who work directly with these people. They definitely had something to gain out of them.
It's all collusion.
Totally.
It's all collusion. Everybody's in on it. Illuminati confirmed. Hashtag Russia.
They don't know what's going on, but the YouTube commenters, they've got the inside scoop.
I watched 20 minutes of him talking about how like Tim Curry was a better Pennywise. Therefore, I know all the intricacies of Douglas Walker.
Yeah, it's just such a narrow-minded view throughout this whole thing, on just like that other side of things, where like a lot of us are basically wanting to basically have accountability and such. Like Channel Awesome didn't really even need to do like that big apology, being like, "We're so sorry for everything." Like they could have pulled what Logan Paul did, that totally like business like I'm very sorry for what I did.
When Logan Paul has done something that Channel Awesome can't do, there's something wrong.
Yeah. I think it says something where it's like every time the fact that is, even Logan Paul knows how to handle himself better business wise. I mean, yeah, he screws up like, is today a day that ends in Y and the sky's blue? I'm sure he did something today. But even every time he, like, botches it, he comes out, "Hey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that or upset it." Like, yeah, he's full of it. He doesn't remotely mean it in the slightest, because he goes back and does it again. He's like BoJack Horseman, where it's like, you can't keep doing horrible crap and then apologizing for it, but still keep doing the horrible crap.
Yeah.
You can't keep being like that. With Channel Awesome, they didn't even have like the common decency, like, do a bullshit one. Like when you guys faked that video about Justin. If you could fake that, even knowing full well what he did. Why can't you fake an apology?
It should be as simple as that, rather than just sort of the petty being like, "We're sorry how you feel."
Love the podcast that I used there as well, which had YMS, I Hate Everything, and Ralph the Movie Maker, because they're like, when they interacted with Channel Awesome to do that video with Doug, they hardly ever went through Doug, which I've never heard. Like everyone I've collaborated with, like I actually got Spoonie in a video years ago, and every person I've collaborated with, you contact that person.
You contact them directly because
it's just weird. The ones like operating and manning their channel.
Well, wasn't Doug's not tech savvy, right? Like that was a thing. That was a big thing, wasn't it? Like Doug doesn't know how to use his tech properly. Like he doesn't know how to record like commentary.
yeah, that was it. He just told everyone, "Hey, everyone in the room, quiet. We're gonna record a commentary right now."
I forget who it was. I don't know if Kaylin knows, but like someone, Doug needed someone to record the commentary for the Moulin Rouge review, so they sat in the Skype call and like muted their microphone and hit record while he and Brental Floss did their commentary.
I want to see in the worst way now, like, well, we can't now because Channel Awesome went under, but like Channel Awesome Survivor, where it's like if Doug wants to eat tonight and not die of hypothermia, he has to start a fire, and he's just like looking at the wood and wondering, what if? And that's it. Like, just like, what if? Looks at wood. Guess hypothermia. The wolves will be out soon. He's just like looking at the wood, and they just hear, hack, and he like turns and looks into the darkness.
No, I won't even. I do like. I know a lot of people didn't like how the other producers were written for the anniversary movies, but just watching that small clip there, Film Brain, I think was hilarious in all of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was in the. I don't know if it was in the script or if Matthew improvised it, but there's like one of the first scenes in Suburban Nights, and I think it's Looper says, "So what do you think we're going to have to do this time?" And then Film Brain's just like, "I don't know, but I'm so excited." And he's just so energetic and over the top.
Like,
it's brilliant.
Like in Kick-Ass, it's great because that's the start of it, where it's like, oh, he's super cheerful, he's very childish and whimsical, and then I guess isn't it ironic? Isn't it really ironic that Doug's like, my character has been fulfilled by this fourth film? It's like, how come no other character gets to be fulfilled? How come like no one else gets to do anything?
Yeah, gave off the wrong impression where it's like everybody's fulfilled because they're all leaving. They're never going to start reviews. It gives off that really weird impression.
It's imagine like being a producer in Channel Awesome, and for the first time you like watch To Boldly Flee Back, and there's that scene where Doug's like, he says to the critic, or the critic says, "What happens to the world I'm in?" And then Doug's like, "You and all the people involved in it disappear." Imagine like how Fayless watching that. Like, wait, hang on a second. We're not. Where are we going?
Well, it's the weird thing because like he was gonna like the whole point of that movie was him. You know, there's a 90K magnum opus, Douglas.
Oh yes.
No, the game
magnum
show.
Opus. I really want to know, and we never will get an answer. Where the hell did that money go?
Oh my! Look at that, 90 grand. I could build that set. Like,
Well, all you have to do is go to the dollar store.
Yeah, I mean, guys, just so you know how bad this is. Like, I told my friend that they spent 90 grand on a game show, and she said, "Oh yeah, I saw a parody of that," and she was describing it, and I was like, "No, that was the real show." She's like, "No, they had to catch these things, and there was this podium." No, that she thought it was a parody. I had to spend about 15 minutes to convince her. That's how bad it was.
I can't understand how there was no legal ramification for that.
Yeah, they were very close to getting that, but then they just posted everything, all their garbage, and be like, "Yeah, they're fine now." But now we don't know where that $90,000 went. Either they just wasted it entirely, or they pocketed into something else.
Well, you know, it's like when people try to justify where it's like, well, this is old news. Hey, Harvey Weinstein did things. It was old news. Do we give Harvey Weinstein a free pass now?
So that's a very good point.
Look, man. Yeah, Hitler led a huge thing that may or may not, there are good people on both sides, that may or may not have led to the wiping out of, the Hebrew and or Jewish community. Now, in all honesty, are we really going to hold that against him? It's all
It is that sort of mentality where people are just trying to be very forgiving of people that they like. Be like, oh, we only can get mad at them for just like a short period of time, but we have to see people actually make true to their promises, even though Channel Awesome has made no promises to really get better.
But we do like this behind the scenes clip of. Sorry to cut you off. Carry on.
Yeah, no, but this is an important clip. But you up? Yeah, no. But yeah, this was the one that I was talking about before, like the turning point of Doug entirely. So where his ego comes in.
Yeah, if you freeze frame, you could see the moment he realizes that he's the cinematic messiah and that he will usher in the new dawn of reviewers everywhere.
Yeah, we think this is where they convinced him how great he was, and Doug was like, "They're right. I'm God." And
Speedy Gonzales is right. I am great. His name's Angry Joe, you asshole. Yeah.
One thing I wish I did show, in the behind the scenes of Suburban Nights, Doug has no shame he actually includes it, but there's a panning shot around the room where everyone looks miserable, and he's kept that in the behind the scenes. Doug's like, the set was quiet, and it just shows Linkara looking really pissed off. Everyone just hates their life.
Well, was that the same one where he's like, by the way, when we were filming, we just made everybody wait in the other room next door. And it's like, well, if they didn't have scenes, shouldn't they have been filming their crossover reviews?
Don't be silly.
Scheduling, motherfucker. Do you not know the basic idea of what scheduling is, for crying out loud? It's not even a film thing. It's a life thing. Look, X needs to get done, but if we're working on Y, then, but not everybody's doing Y, then those other people who aren't doing Y could be working on X. Yes! That's common logic. And it's like, just put them in the room next door. Why? What are they doing exactly? What? Maybe we'll need them. Well, if you need them, you do pickups. That's what you do in fit.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't even have enough transport for the pick. They didn't even have enough transport for the pickups either. They had to ask Liz to come along.
Yeah. Never reimbursed her, from what I understood. She got injured, and she was never, it was sign this paper so you can't sue us. Look, man, even if she wanted to sue you, let's be real. How much is Liz gonna get?
She wasn't even given gas money. She's asked, "Can you drive all of us around? We're not going to give you shit."
Yeah, that's just awful.
Idea that the fact that they had to have her sign something, it's to what end, man? Even if she takes you guys to court, what's she gonna get? Hell, we can't even get an apology. That was free. For God's sakes.
There's also a clip I didn't show, Orlando, who played Malachi. He almost does a backflip, and he actually lands on his head in the behind the scenes.
Oh, I did. I think I actually saw that. Oh god.
So I don't know if he was given anything to sign.
I mean, clearly they did what any professional setup does, and has padding for the stunt performers to do things so they could minimize injury, right? I mean, that's the sensible thing, of course. They use a soft cobblestone path. There's a bramble bush nearby just in case. Just to make double sure everything was going to be okay.
Yeah, if there's any cuts, they'll just rub dirt in it and spit on it.
Yeah.
That's what we call nature's plaster. Sure, later your neck might be broken and you might be Chris Reeved for life, but
it's the famous scene. This was very uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I feel bummed by this because I know that Lewis is such a advocate for strong female empowerment and respect towards women, and it's really weird where Doug looked at it, it's I don't see anything wrong with this. Really, there's no. And the thing is, I like dark humor as much as any other person. I mean, one of my favorite characters on Venture Brothers is Sergeant Hatred, who is a recovering pedophile. So, I can enjoy dark humor as much as the next person. But the fact that it's Doug, a lot of people are vocalizing they're uncomfortable with this, which means you just shouldn't do it. And especially considering, and this is the thing he never seemed to realize, this isn't your movie. This is everybody. Everyone's here because everybody's here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a celebration of everybody.
We all tuned into these crossovers because we wanted to see everyone. Like, people who were fans of the Spoonie Experiment were there to see Spoonie. People who were there who were fans of Angry Joe came to see Angry Joe, and so on and so forth. I don't believe for a second the majority came in where it's like, oh, I'm just here for Doug, and everyone else just has the privilege to be here.
Yeah,
And I think what bothers me the most is that the scene adds like nothing to the story and could have easily been cut out. I mean, oh, okay, you needed Lindsay to become a robot, but you didn't need the rape implication.
yeah, all you have to do is like maybe just zap her once, be like, "You're a robot now." There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been
just-
hilarious if, like, Mechakara was like, I turn you into a robot. Blah! And then, like, lightning, like, sparks her, like, for a second, and she's like, I'm a robot now.
That would have been a lot more cartoonier and funny.
Someone asks, what about James Rolfe on the subject? I haven't had a problem with James Rolfe. He hasn't seemed to really do anything. He seems removed from Channel Awesome. I mean, I don't think he's done anything associated with them since...
Well, he did have he had Doug and Brad on his DVD rental show for like one episode, which got a shitload of dislikes.
Yeah.
I've spoken to James. He's a cool guy. It's disappointing that they work together, but he hasn't spoken publicly about it, so that's why I'm like more
Yeah, because
than James.
yeah, because that is sort of the
there's also
business. That is sort of the business thing to do, to try to distance yourself from it. Because,
Yeah.
like, clearly they do have sort of a friendship and all that, so you don't want to just outwardly just defend or attack as well to just burn that bridge. So he just removes himself entirely.
Well, there's also... This goes to the differentiation, because, again, the three of us were outsiders on everything. He may have a good relationship with James. That's just it. And we have to accept where it's like... Where people come in where it's like, oh, how dare they, you know... How dare, like, James, like, associate with him? James isn't in the controversy, though. Like... James was... Nothing was ever brought up that James was responsible for any of the crap that was happening. So, like... It'd be the equivalency of, like, I went to McDonald's, and this very clear employer spit on my Big Mac. What, are you going to blame all of McDonald's for that one incident? Like, all of McDonald's didn't, like, take a collective loogie in your Big Mac. It was one jerk behind the counter. And that's the thing where people, like, you know, the association game. Like, I just personally moved away from the channel because it was like, I can't stand this. I can't stand the negativity around this. And I think we can kind of agree that, aren't we all just a little bit sick of the angry reviewer as, like, the gimmick by this point for personalities?
Yeah, it seems a little bit played out in terms of it. And I'll just be honest as well, like, I was, like, partially the angry reviewer at the beginning, because I was definitely inspired by the nostalgia critic and everything. Like, I'm sure plenty of people were. But at some point you just grow up from that and just try to move away and to be your own style.
So I gotta ask though, how has the channel fared since the ordeal? Like, I think I saw on your video, was it I'm Exposed? You dropped this morning, which, by the way, dude, hilarious thumbnail image.
Thank you.
Just like that, ta-da! Like, face. I was just like, that's adorable. I don't know what that was the thumbnail.
You know, when I don't have an idea for a thumbnail, like during editing, I'll accidentally pause it on a stupid face and I'll be, oh, that'll do. I'll take a screenshot of it.
There's a screenshot of me floating around somewhere where I have... It's horribly paused where I have, like, my hand up, my lips are, like, flapped open, one eye's closed and one eye's open, so I just look like I'm wasted.
Yeah.
And I basically look like Matt Smith in that meme where he goes, listen here, you little shit. I look like that. And it's like, well, that's a keeper for a thumbnail at some point. That's going to be brought back later down the line.
All right, just real quick, this YouTube trailer, it has not aged very well, where Doug says how amazing he is. There's also, like, there's a scene in To Boldly Flee where Doug's like, now I know I haven't asked much from you people before, and everyone just stares at him. They're like, did you really just say that?
Oh my god.
It's like that. If you guys ever watch the Red Letter Media videos, there is a great moment where there is a hilarious bit where it's behind the scenes. It's with George Lucas, and he's like, "Special effects are a tool. They are the replacement for good storytelling." a movie without a good story and just special effects is nothing. And Mr. Plinkett goes, "Yeah, you said it, brother. Wait a minute, you said that?" It's like that with Doug in a nutshell. Where it's like, "No, I never ask anything of you people." "Yeah, you said it, Doug. Wait a minute. You bring us out here, you don't give us water, you don't feed us. You keep us in the room next door when we literally could be doing other stuff."
When we get injured, you make us sign forms so we can't sue you. And you
because of all that nostalgia money he's got. Hell, the only thing that $90 should have gone to is paying like everybody else to avoid a lawsuit.
I do want to
I
talk
think we
about...
can all agree that Doug Walker and Channel Awesome deserves to get doxxed and swatted. Nope.
No.
As bad as them.
No. And how dare you use the honorable name of Kris Kringle? How dare you dishonor and disrespect Santa Claus? He stands for everything good. He's like Superman, sir. Shame on you. No one should be doxxed or swatted. That's ridiculous. That's how people get hurt. Look, just because the man is a dink doesn't mean we should like hope for harm onto him. At most, we should hope that he gets his shit together.
You asked earlier about like the channel. I didn't expect like someone like it was approaching like 100k views, and someone said, "Oh, what are you going to do when it hits 1 million?" It's not going to hit 1 million, but we're approaching 250,000 views, which is insane. I thought it was going to be the same as last year, where the sketches got views, then it died down, but then a Curious Cat video, and that got thousands of views, and then I posted a follow-up video, and I've gained about 2,500 subs in like a week, which wasn't the intent, but
yeah, but that's incredible. Like, congratulations!
That's called a happy accident. You know, it's like Channel Awesome being able to actually make some kind of finished product after the shoots. we made a movie, did we though?
New Zealand shooter should have shout out Channel Awesome. They don't need a shout out. They've got 1 million subs.
I think the New Zealand shooter knew full well I'm not affiliated with these people. Look, I might do horrible things, but I'm not Channel Awesome. It's like when the neo-Nazis come out and it's like, look, we hate all these folk, but I'll tell you what, we're not associated with the Westboro Baptist Church. But you're neo-Nazis, yeah. Look, white pride and the brotherhood and all that good stuff. But hear me out. Not associated with Westboro.
It was interesting to see that Sad Panda actually didn't have many negative things to say about Mike Machado. That was quite surprising.
Well, again, happy accident.
Yeah.
Because it's like, seems like everybody else has nothing good to say about Mike Machado.
I saw someone say that Doug and Brad just both went bald to try to look more like Mike Machado.
Oh, it's catching. It's like bronchitis.
Even this clip right here, maybe it's just me, but like Doug just seems uncomfortable and awkward talking to a room of people. It's like, it just seems really like he just doesn't care.
I feel bad for all these people because like there's still a part of me, even now, I would love to have been a part of something like this with all these collective personalities. Like that, there's something like it's like a dying rose. There's something like eerily beautiful about it, because like you see all these talented people and like they do good work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they had good personalities, and I watched the different like shows these people did, and to see like how this just like withered away and died. It's so disheartening and depressing because for a lot of us, you know, breaking into like the YouTube sphere, this was it, guys. This was like making it to Valhalla on the field of like cinematic battle. And then you get there and only learn that like Odin's like, you suck.
Oh.
And you're like, what, that's it? I did all this and I met Odin, and you walk up to him like down the hall up to his throne, and it's like, you know, Odin, I finally made it. And then he just looks at you and just goes, you suck. And then all of a sudden, you're like outside the gate, and you're like, well, wait a minute, what happened? And I guess Rob would be the disinterested Thor. Well, you ever, like, it's really weird how, like, Rob is connected to this, but, like, Rob doesn't say or do anything. He's like a platypus. like we have a Rob Walker. Doesn't really do too much. I think this is something you brought up in your documentary, Rob. Where like, Doug doesn't own the rights to his own character.
I don't understand at what point you'd agree to that.
Yeah, I just don't understand why you would ever do that.
Well, I'm trying to understand it, like, okay, like, from a business standpoint. You start off with these videos, and they start churning popularity quickly and quickly and quickly. And I could understand where he's like, well, I don't really know the business angle, so they bring in Mashad, and it's like, okay, Mashad's gonna help with the business angle, but like the trade-off is I have to sort of sign off, you know, the character right then and there. It's really weird. Where it's like, whoa, wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're the thing bringing in everything. You're the stuff bringing in the money. You're technically the talent. You were the face of the site. It was called That Guy with the Glasses. You were the face. You were Bugs Bunny. You were Mickey Mouse. At like what point did you think, well, if I sign everything over,
that is the best business move.
There's no way this could bite me in the ass at all. And to me, what gets me is like, the fourth movie comes out, and it's, you know, it's a big wank for Doug, like championing himself. Did Mashad at any point was like, if you stop making stuff, I stop making money. Get your ass back on the camera.
I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, Doug can't leave because he doesn't own the character, but I'm pretty sure if Doug started a new show with a different name, he'd still be able to get a following. Oh yeah, not now, but like when it first broke.
I feel like before all this, so Scavoza happened, he could have just stepped away, done a Doug Walker channel, and been like, I'm going to occasionally look at nostalgic stuff, but what I would like to do is I'd like to talk about modern movies. And he does it very casual. And I think, like, in that regard, it's like, that would have worked. You probably would have been fine.
Yeah, because you would still have your fans from Nostalgia just migrate over, and it would have been perfect for him.
Instead, he went above and beyond. It's so funny. I feel like the fourth movie is a perfect cementation of, like, when he quit his job. You showed it in the documentary where you're like, I quit, and it's like, dude, you're guaranteeing you're never going to get work if and when stuff falls through.
Liz said he tried other things and they failed. I mean, I don't know if it was because that was still like Channel Awesome related, but apparently he didn't decide to cancel Demo Reel. That was actually Mashad's call, and Doug was devastated. He was the only one.
Oh. He was the only one. I just imagine just
all
of them in a room and he's just sat in a corner.
He's just having a tantrum. I want to do Demo Reel.
No, you can't do it, Doug. We're losing money.
I'll show Mashad. I'm going to stick it in my Nostalgia Critic videos, and no one will notice a difference at all. And we spent like 5 minutes on like this skit, and it's not really doing a commentary on anything. What are we doing right now? Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I didn't even have a problem with Demo Reel in terms of like, you want to do something new? I can't fault that. We all fall into a rut at some point, and we want to spice it up. You know, look, you can enjoy a sub sandwich every day of your life, but at some point, you're gonna want to change it up to like maybe a burrito or a salad. That's life. And I think Demo Reel could have been great if it was like, I'm still doing Nostalgia Critic, but I'm doing this like this nice little side project as well, and it could maybe grow and become its whole thing. And then for some reason he was just like, screw the critic, salt the earth, burn everything, and make sure nothing grows back. I'm doing this now. And how did I describe it to you, Taylor? Where it's like, you don't get rid of the Big Mac and be like, boy, the Big Mac sure is good. It's the iconic sandwich, and we all love it. Throw it in the garbage. This is the Big Mac. It will replace the Big Mac now, and you're going to learn to like it. And it's like...
Had Doug just weaned people off of Nostalgia Critic for Demo Reel, that would have gone way better. Probably that he literally pulled the plug. I mean, I guess people had a little time to prepare themselves because, like, the Tobolgi Fleet trailers pretty much gave it away that Doug was quitting the critic, but he just pulled the plug and then said.
Well, it didn't help that like he threw every one of his castmates where it's like, we're all going away. Well, wait a minute, where are we all going? We enjoy making our videos. Like we still have fan bases and enjoy what we do. None of us are apathetic yet, Doug.
Yeah, that's.
But when I'm gone, everyone goes, do you think of yourself like you're the Superman of critics or something? Like you're the icon that everyone has to strive for? No, everyone's different. I mean, that's why it's weird when Doug talks about anime, where it's like, oh, I'm really not into anime. Why are you talking about it?
I'm actually in the minority that I don't mind the reviews to an extent. Like I actually I love the Suicide Squad one, and Jurassic World I thought was okay, but then there was like for Hocus Pocus to be clipless. I still don't understand that. And then his Fury Road one, he barely even reviewed it. They were just running around reenacting the film.
Yeah, and then he did the same thing where he did like on Ghostbusters, like, well, because like, you know, men hate women, and it's like, well, what about the rest of the reason why the Ghostbuster movie didn't work? How about the fact that like Paul Feig basically wasted money on doing things in that film, or did questionable things where it's like, you know, we put Pringles on screen, and you know, we didn't even ask for that. Oh, well, that's illegal. I mean, that company could sue you for using their product without consent. You know, there's like, if that company all of a sudden decided, what are you doing? Why are you using our stuff in your movie without? It's like when Doug was filming. It's like, we're gonna film at like this park. You know, you have to get like paperwork to film locations.
And then they broke in. If you watch the behind the scenes, they got there I think at like 6 a.m. and they were stuck in their cars because it was locked, and they literally broke in.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I think to some capacity, you know, there is a minimum of responsibility to the people who did the stuff along with Doug, where it's like, if Doug had told me, like, okay, we have to shoot the scene, we're going to, like, break into the park. No, I am not breaking the law for a freaking YouTube video. Are you high? If a cop came around and we actually got in bigger, like, I don't mean like we got a stern talking to. I mean like if we legit got in serious trouble for breaking and entering, I am not going to throw away life for a YouTube video. Which, by the way, a YouTube video I'm not being paid for, being fed for, or given water for. Hey, I'm doing this for free and breaking the law. What's my incentive exactly? To hope I get popular enough, like, through this video that people will check out my channel?
Man, we almost got kicked out of the Reno Hotel during Kikassia. Go on, Kaylin, what happened? We got more stories coming.
Murder's the only way to stop channel also. That's okay, they can invite Logan Paul to film it then.
Oh my God.
Yeah, calm the frick down with that.
Topher deserves a hug for audio. I've spoken to Topher since this dropped. He was a really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a shame, because, like, there is good talent. Like, I've talked with Mike Dodd, and he seems like a wonderful person. Seems very friendly. You gotta wonder at this point with the way things have gone. I don't know. Like, is there any chance for a salvage? Like, is there like a Hail Mary in like the hour you think they could pull where it's like, and we'll win everybody? I'm surprised, by the way. After all this, they didn't try to do like a charity stream or something. Like they're not even trying to falsify good press by doing that kind of stuff. It's the weird stuff. Like you would think just to get good PR would be like, we're gonna do like a charity stream.
Yeah, and you would have thought.
They're not even doing that. They're just like, maybe if we don't. It really feels like the thought process of how to avoid. They went and sat in the corner, and put their fingers in their ears and closed their eyes and just like, it'll go away. It's soon it will be done and things will pass and everything will be great.
So we were all filming crossovers in the hotel, and Angry Joe's being loud and angry, as he does, and the hotel staff shows up like, you're causing a disturbance, do you have a filming license? Joe tries to cover for it, and Bargo, is that Marty?
Yeah.
Right there, comes in and tries to cover for us, leaving the rest of us a chance to run away. By the way, we did not have a permit to film in that hotel.
Oh,
I've just got an image now of loads of people like dressed in with costumes running away from security.
to the sound of basically it's gonna be like a Scooby-Doo skit. So it's like, you know, the like the maitre d comes upstairs. It's like, do you guys have you know, any paperwork to actually like film here? And then Doug goes, "Super Runaway Gang," and then you just hear and they like book it down the hall. Angry Joe's just like, "Ruh-roh." It's such a sad thing to see. It really is like a falling star situation, because it really was like the pinnacle of what a lot of us had strived for through our. I think in a lot of ways, even now with us in our respective channels, a lot of us want that success, because like that's the dream, isn't it? You know, you work from home, you have a community of people that you can interact with and enjoy each other's company with, and it really is kind of the dream, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I hate to admit it, the Channel Awesome films were kind of what inspired me to make my movie. And you know, a lot of people probably haven't seen it, but I'll happily admit it's shit. It's like really, really low budget, and we didn't know what we were doing. But I think the difference between Channel Awesome and mine was, like, from what I've heard, when Channel Awesome didn't know what they were doing, if they were offered help from people who did have an idea, they were told to shut up. Whereas mine, I was clueless. People offered help. Yeah, we did that, and we had fun with it. Channel Awesome just seemed like arrogant pricks.
Well, here's the thing. You're a filmmaker. So when you make a film, your takeaway at the end of it, be it a good experience or a bad one, is I've learned something.
Yeah.
Yes. That's actually a good point. They did 3 films and then they were still horrible.
Yeah, like they did. Again, must we go back to like to the behind the scenes? Doug, we all want to see this through the end. I am Cinematic Jesus. That's not what I said. I said we're all willing to stick it out to the end.
Get better.
I really am. Like,
he starts holding a framed picture of himself. Like, I can do this.
But it'll be photoshopped with like Jesus's hair, so Doug can have hair once.
And that sort of makes me think of like how he isn't like nowadays, which is sort of like Malcolm and such, and how like Malcolm's in like the guild, right? Yeah, that sort of makes me think like where everyone has sort of that argument being like, well, but it's better now, so why are you complaining about it? Like, the only reason why it's better now is because the actors he has are in the guild. If it wasn't better now, he would be even more legal crap than before.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, times change so much, especially when it comes to like any form of entertainment. Like back in the day, like this is like Golden Age comics time. Like Bill Finger got horribly screwed by Bob Kane for all the work like Bill contributed to Batman, which is basically everything you love about Batman. Yeah, that was Bill Finger who did it, and then Bob Kane took all the credit. Nowadays, we have laws in place where creators for projects, especially for the big two, are getting much more credit for the stuff they've done. But that's like saying, hey man, back in the day, Bob Kane screwed over Bill Finger. That was back in the day, so it's okay. Well, why is there a time limit on being a crappy human being? I'd love to see a giant digital clock that counts down, and it's like, look man, you can be like shitty for this long, but once that clock goes off, free pass!
It suddenly becomes the Purge. You can just like slaughter anyone you want.
Oh, jeez. Oh my god. See, and then, you know, the thing is, if Channel Awesome was actually like of quality control, imagine a great parody of the Purge. Like that would have been Channel Awesome, like during its falling out moments. We could have called it, you know, the Splurge, because we have to cover our asses with a parody name. And it's like, guys, Doug spent all the money on this get rich quick scheme. Guys, I bought the Channel Awesome car wash. I really think we could do things with the channel.
This is one I've not actually seen rap critics speak publicly about leaving Channel Awesome, so I'm not sure his stance.
Has he talked to you? Has he talked to you since the documentary came out?
I think the last I spoke to Darren was, I think I messaged him when like the Channel Awesome producers started leaving, just to see that he was okay, and it was just a brief, how you doing? Oh, all right, how are you? Like, I didn't press questions. That's the last I've heard from him.
Okay.
An NC parody channel. Now there's an idea.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get working on that. That's actually giving me ideas.
Well, I mean, Rob, if we just shaved your head and like threw the tie on you, I mean, the accent might be a little bit awkward when people are like, I don't think Doug was British, so I don't know how much you could like American. You just give him like a southern drawl because that's how people think most of us in America sound, anyways.
I mean, people like the sketches. I mean, how come Doug really hates Moulin Rouge? Wasn't well received. I mean, Doug reviewed it, and I hate to admit it, that review was actually pretty good because I don't like Moulin Rouge either. I think he just thinks it's pretentious.
Yeah.
See, the thing was like, I don't care. Like, I don't like musicals. I like some musicals, but like, I like. That's not nostalgic. I didn't grow up with Moulin Rouge.
This interview that I did with Doug, right? I got so many comments, literally saying, "I see right through you. This wasn't a real interview." No, like, okay, I know that, like, the title says exclusive Doug Walker interview, and I may have actually sent that one to Channel Awesome and was like, "Oh, thank you for your time, Doug." But it was obviously clips from his show. Moulin Rouge the movie, not the review. Well, the review explains why he didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Do you think though, Doug's impact, because him and the channel were a big impact on this community. They were a big impact on the inspiration for tons of individuals. Do you think that this event, this like fallout, do you think it negatively impacted the rest of us as online personalities attempting to break in and do this kind of work?
Yeah, probably. Like, I mean,
probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah. We all got screwed.
Probably. Nah, like I get so many tweets that were like, "This documentary didn't show anything new," but then Erod was on Channel Awesome, and he said there were things that he didn't even know. So, I mean, watching it all compiled in one video, which was the whole purpose of doing it anyway, is just so much stronger than... I mean, I read the Google Doc, and it wasn't an easy read, but I think... to me before he actually put up the video, and he made a good point that in 2019, people don't like to read.
Yeah.
And videos are like the future, so it was good to have it all compiled, and a lot of people that I didn't actually think.
Yeah, like I saw one of those comments that I sort of saw was in like, I've heard parts of it, but I didn't hear other parts. So it feels like everything that he brought together was really important because we only get bits and pieces from social media because like everything goes by so fast, it just sort of gets lost in the noise.
Well, I don't think I heard any of Liz's story till that documentary.
Yeah,
like I think I heard the most was like I knew that she knew the person. But I didn't hear it from her. Like that was like secondhand, like, you know, Reddit rhetoric, and like stuff on Reddit is probably about you could probably trust about as much as like going to Wikipedia, because everyone like pops in there and gives their 2 cents.
No, lots of things. That sounds really mischievous, really sinister.
I'm kind of curious. How long did it take you to put this together? Like, how long have you been working on this documentary?
What was the date it dropped? Have you got the date it went up?
Let's see. I did have it on standby. I think it was like maybe just a week ago or something like that.
Oh, 17th it went up.
Yeah.
So I think, like I say, it was meant to be an episode of my show, and it like writing the script maybe as early as February, and then the editing. For some reason, I edit quite quickly. So when I do a normal episode, I can usually edit it in a day. And then I told people, oh, yeah, it'll be up this weekend. And then the weekend passes, and I've got about 10% of it done. Expect it to be this bigger project. So in total, about 2 months, I guess.
Damn. It's very well executed. I thought it was very well taught. You managed to still be funny without coming off the jacket.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the it's very guilt trippy. It's very like, if you're still a fan of Channel Awesome, it comes across like I'm guilt tripping you. But it was a point I wanted to get across with the whole Bill Cosby, Logan Paul thing.
Yeah.
Well, but at that point, Rob, though, that's a personal feeling thing where it's like, if someone's like, you're making me feel guilty. Well, here's the thing. if you feel guilty, that's like your conscience telling you,
oh, maybe I
shouldn't
didn't
support these people.
yeah, it's just them saying like, oh, maybe I'm not thinking a good thought.
It's like the equivalency. Oh man, I ate this whole pie by myself, and I'm feeling kind of like fat and guilty about it. Well, that means you probably should have eaten that whole pie by yourself. No, it's the bakery's fault for making it. Like the crust was so buttery good. Like, don't put your blame elsewhere. Accept it. My God. By the way, when that happened, when they released that it was like they were trying to release it to be like, ha ha! This proves we're in the right. Oh God, we didn't really block out Justin's name. Shit.
You know what? I found that out the worst way because, like, I mean, I won't lie. I didn't watch Justin's content. That's because he reviewed things that I wasn't really interested in. But I loved him in the anniversary films, and I did a tribute video when he passed away. And then I just got sent a link, and I saw the article just said sexual predator named as Justin Carmichael or something along those lines, and I was like, what?
I remember after that hit, dude. I was so depressed that at one point I had one of the most surreal dreams I've ever had in my life, where I was meeting him and he was there. I was talking to Justin and I was like, Justin, oh my God, I saw all the news and like it said you were dead. Holy shit! And he looked at me and he said, well, I am. And then I woke up and I was just laying in bed crying. And I was like, what the fuck, life?
Yeah.
And then it only got worse because then it all came out where it's like, by the way, he did all this horrible shit. And I was like, oh, what the fuck, life?
And then a lot of, on top of the, you know, it's a small movement you might have heard, you know, with the Vic stuff, that Kaylin's been getting. People are also saying that Kaylin knew the whole time when she made her movie, which is bullshit. But,
yeah.
I don't see what she would have to gain to be like, I know the whole time I should raise a shit ton of money and make a film dedicated to him, because then when all this comes out, it won't bite me in the ass in the slightest. It's a master plan.
It'll make me look awful. Perfect.
This plan is so great, Doug Walker will surely take credit for it. And then Doug just like leans in like a cardboard cutout of him on a popsicle stick. Yes, you do it, Caitlin. That's a great idea. Yay! He's got like, pipe cleaner arms like Kermit the Frog.
Oh my God. Wait.
I don't get why people are like attacking her on the idea with Jordan. She knew the whole time. To what end, guys? To what end? Like at the end of that rainbow, what was she gonna get?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't even understand why Channel Awesome was like, oh, well,
this.
If people find out, people are gonna get upset with their channel. Well, if you get ahead of it and discredit him and remove him and take a stance against him, you'll actually look like the better part. Doug, make a video about how much we miss him. Does everyone in this channel work on Bizarro World logic? Do we all just do the opposite?
That was hands down probably the most disgusting part of this whole change the channel thing. Just the knowledge where they just outright just lied and basically be like, oh, sorry.
Well, was it Dr. Gonzo? They were like giving...
I mean, I understand why. Obviously, Liz didn't say anything. That was at the request of the victim, and you got to respect that. A lot of people point out that Holly knew, because in the screenshot that Channel Awesome put, Holly was aware and didn't say anything. But I hope I'm not misquoting her. But Holly basically, as far as I know, was just she said she was scared and she was obviously against Rob, Doug, and Mashad, and didn't think anybody would believe her, so she kept quiet.
Well, it's got to be hard to be in that position too. But I mean, like, make no mistake, it's not like just because it's hard doesn't mean you know. I'm a firm believer that like, but if you do know, you should speak up, even if it's the most minimum capacity of like calling in an anonymous tip and reporting it in some way, shape, or form. But I can understand from that fear, especially because as we've seen, Mashad he's a dick. So Mashad likes to like pressure, like he's a dick. What are we gonna do? Beat around the bush? Say he's not? Oh, you want me to lie? No, Mashad was aces. You know, he was, he was the Mother Teresa of members of the team.
Then I remember that argument that I mentioned that me and Malcolm had was because again, like I was being a dick and kept sending like Channel Awesome like trolling comments, and I did the same with Malcolm, but the ones from Malcolm were much nastier. That's why Malcolm tweeted something, And I just replied and said, yeah, you work with someone who protects rapists. And yeah, he replied, and we went back and forth yelling at each other. And the thing is, he just wouldn't listen. I said Channel Awesome knew what he did and didn't tell anyone, and he would just constantly explain why they couldn't tell, which I stand by. Obviously they can't tell the public, but was making a film in his memory. They never told her. Justin continued to work with other producers. They never warned them.
Yeah,
I mean, they didn't feel like, even if they couldn't go public because of legal ramifications, because laws are always kind of muddled and messy. That's just the way they work, unfortunately. The fact that it's like, Mars Girl was putting together, this film, and it's like, you couldn't just take her aside for like, 5 minutes, guys. Just let her know, instead of letting her run the gambit and do all this.
Yeah, to put all that time into it, like, that is just horrible to do to her.
And then after the fact, just be like, oh. Well, the thing is, keeping this in mind, too. That means, because it was leaked, they never were going to tell us publicly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that is the true fact of it.
Like, they were going to let, like that video where Doug made where it's like, oh, I'm so sad he's gone. They were going to let that video stand.
Yeah, forever.
Like, legitimately, they were going to, like, keep that up as, like, a like, championing thing for them where it's like, yeah, we stood up for our friend who killed himself and it should be taken serious. Like, you were going to put this guy up on, like, the cross as, like, a remembrance. Oh, I don't know, let's just make a valid point. I mean, even if they did tell her... I mean, at least that would have been some kind of information, though, to, like, have a dialogue, to have something happen. Like, yeah, and like Marshall just said, like, well, at least I wouldn't have ended up making a video.
Yeah, that, at least that would have been true.
Like, we're not saying this was a easy situation. It's not. By no stretch of the imagination was this an easy situation. But, like, good grief. Like, the fact that they, like, championed him. And mind you, like, Bennett the Sage put the hat on his set. Linkara put the hat on his set. Spoonie put the hat on his set. Dude, you have, like, everybody on this channel doing, like, some kind of commemoration to this person you protected. If this comes out, do you not see how bad this would be? And to me that says, like, doesn't it say something where it's like, the big three at Channel Awesome don't have a conscience?
Yeah,
I've been told that, obviously, Mashad is Satan, but out of the Walker brothers...
that's not fair. Satan's charming.
I've been told that Rob Walker is actually the bigger dick, and Doug's just more... Like, he'll do stupid things, and he'll be in a stupid situation. Like that meme that I use in this, where the room's on fire, and Doug's just like, this is fine. Like, apparently that's Doug.
Yeah, I can more see that from him.
Well, he seems belligerent.
What Liz just said, yeah, I was shocked to hear that. Apparently they wanted to bring Justin back, despite the claims.
Oh, police reports.
Oh, they wanted to bring Justin back.
Yeah, they wanted to bring him back despite complaints and police reports. Here's the weird thing, and I don't know, maybe, again, this is an outsider perspective. Justin wasn't really super popular. I mean, he did have a following, but, like, if there was already the scandal happening, again, it's like, this channel works on Bizarro World logic. Oh, man, my hands are dirty. Sticks them in a puddle of mud. Now to dry them off, sticks it into water. What are you doing? I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Why are you literally doing like the polar opposite of everything? Huh. Oh man, look at this delicious salad. Breaks off the glass on the side of the bowl and starts eating it. What are you doing? I'm having my lunch. But you're not eating the salad. You're eating the bowl that it's in. And that's not even an edible bowl. That's ceramic. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's all right.
Allison loved this part.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of did this in the sketch where like she's being forced to do. Nothing sounds genuine here.
Yeah, no, it just sounds like, yes, this was a very good movie. I really liked it a lot.
I don't understand how somebody could sit there during like the editing process. Do you think maybe we should probably remove this because she's like I think it shows you a case of like how Doug, Rob, and Mashad are so removed from their audience where it's like, people are idiots, guys. They'll believe anything they get at face value. And it's like, dude, look at that. Look at how she's reacting. Look how, like, if she was any more dead-faced, she just would have been a corpse on camera. And it's like, yeah, it's fine. People accept it for what it is.
Yeah, just more taking in the context of the moment, basically putting that in like proof that she really liked it.
10 out of 10.
They're improving with communication, but Joe has been there nearly since the start, and they didn't think to say, Joe, the sword. So, I do point out that I knew the 10-year anniversary plot. Fuck it. So I can't say who told me.
That's fine. You don't have to out your source as a reporter. You have the God-given right to protect your source.
Okay. So the basic plot was it was going to be another meta style like fourth wall breaking film, and the movie was going to show producers setting up the 10-year anniversary movie. So it was like a movie within a movie, and then it will turn into. Hold on, give it a chance. It was then going to turn into a slasher film, and they were all going to get picked off one by one. And one of the producers, I'll point out in the documentary that one of them, who'd been there for a while, wasn't invited, put in last minute because they wanted to save money by not having someone else in. And again, they didn't switch the characters; they just changed the dialogue. Sorry, they didn't change the dialogue. They just changed the character's name. But the producer just turns into a werewolf at the end. And I think this sounds like short, maybe, but a 10-year anniversary special.
You know, I would like it on the grounds of if we did it, we have the slasher villain, and the big reveal at the end when we unmask him, Scooby-Doo style, of course. You know, Mars Girl would come out and be like, "It was Doug Walker all along, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling producers and your Iron Liz." All right, let's just go over there. Shrug.
Wasn't the anniversary brawl to be a continuation of the ABG and NC? Yes, it was. Probably the oldest person. Yeah.
I feel like that was the fun one, by the way. Like all this talent got together, and they just kicked the shit out of each other.
Yeah, there was nothing
if
more
that had a
complex.
script, I'll be amazed if that had a script. Like, just fighting.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, it was entertainment, and even like Kick-Ass, yeah, that was a nice leap forward in terms of like what they like. If you look back at the very first one, where it's like a bunch of people got together in a hotel and like slapped the hell out of each other, and then the next one was we had a script. We met a guy who runs a micronation. It's like. There's commendable stuff that came out of this, and for a lot of people, I'm sure it really changed, for lack of a better word, it changed their channel.
And in Suburban Nights, we broke into a park.
Yeah, at Suburban Nights, that's when I knew felony.
That's true.
You just torture your cast members. So this is Brad. As far as I know, he didn't enjoy To Boldly Flee. He was claustrophobic, put in a big old helmet, and locked in a attic with no air conditioning. But here we are.
You gotta stand by and defend Doug though on that. I mean,
you gotta take a stand.
I think you did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, that was
with this documentary. I do apologize. And I don't know why, because I didn't do anything, but like I feel like. Because I'm empathetic towards people. I'm sorry you're getting such crap from folks over this.
Yeah, I still look into your comments and see everything.
Yeah, I mean, most of the comments have been positive. There is, like, last I checked, 1,000 dislikes, but then there was, like, 9,000 likes, so...
Yeah. It's different.
Is there anything you would do different?
You know what? I'd fix the music just so everyone's fucking happy. Like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, that was the main thing. The comments were either get over it, this is all petty, or fix the music. So I can handle the petty stuff. I would have just fixed the music.
Alright, okay, so music notwithstanding, which is weird, by the way, dude. I want you to take a step back and realize I made this documentary chronicling the downfall of a cornerstone of pop culture and YouTube history. Hey, asshole, turn on the music. Oh, really? That's the takeaway we're getting from all this? Like I outed the fact that they like protected like you know a sexual predator, but no, you're right.
Yeah, the music was the most important thing, and you were being manipulative.
Are you still an AVGN fan? Yes, I am.
Yeah, I still watch. I do feel like James should have retired. Not because it's like, oh, I'm sick of you. Because if I was, I literally could just stop watching his stuff and that's it. I just feel like he did it. He did his movie, and it's solid. It's very funny. I love the practical effects. I like how goofy and ridiculous it is. And I feel like, well, dude, if anyone deserves a rest, I mean, this was a pretty good place to go out on as any.
Oh, definitely.
What I like about James as well, like he takes his time and then just posts a nerd episode whenever he wants, which I think separates him. Like he's always creative as well. He doesn't really half-ass it. Whereas because Doug posts every 2 weeks, sometimes every week, he's kind of forced to just fart out content.
Yeah, and that's why he picks like, oh, Hop. That's a movie people talk about. Not really, no.
Soldier, don't you think the Emoji Movie?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
totally nostalgic. You remember those memes from the old days? My day, I had the poop emoji.
So if you're down with it, Rob, would you be cool to being open up to questions through the chat?
Oh yeah, go for it.
You know, so if you guys got questions, you know, be reasonable for goodness sake, people. You know, don't be a dick.
Here's all the Kick Vic stuff.
Yeah, we saw some of the dicks in there.
Okay, you know what? Every time one of you guys mentioned the whole docs and SWAT, we're just dropping the ban hammer. I'm not into censorship, but good God, that is not appropriate behavior. Act like adults. I don't care if you're not an adult, still act like one.
We do another video with Sean Moore? Probably. We talk about crossovers all the time. So yeah, we're down.
Maybe one day we'll do a crossover with you.
That'd be cool. Tamara was shafted in the Hop episode. Oh, I don't know. I've not watched.
Well, you know, to be fair, if you ever saw Hop, everyone was shafted. What are you hoping to accomplish by releasing this documentary?
No, I just thought people would watch it. Hopefully, I'd convert a few people. I didn't expect 250,000 nearly to see it. And every day since the doc dropped, they've lost subs, which is amazing. So I just want to. People think that I'm milking it, and I guess I am because I don't get that logic. Like you just do this for views now. Well, yeah.
Well, but like Rob, that argument can't work because it's like saying there's a news network that specifically backs President Trump, so they use good news of Donald Trump. Well, yeah. Well,
that's kind of their job.
That's yeah. What do you think was gonna like? Yeah, you're getting approval from this, and you're getting ratings from this. Of course you are. Like, does that make you happy? Well, yeah, it means your channel grows, and by that, you know, better things come of it. But like, I doubt there's a part of you that sits awake at night. Man, I'm so glad so many lives were destroyed, so I can make a documentary on this, so I can get a few likes on YouTube.
It's just I'm just glad that, like, I've got comments saying they didn't realize the severity, and they thanked me for opening their eyes and stuff, which is incredible. What we got? I would like a crossover with you and the Unusual Suspect. I'm down. I've reached out and emailed him, but I haven't had a reply. Maybe now I will, because now I've got views.
The thing is, people, if you guys want to get like different people to interact with your personality, if you guys want like, you know, Cinematic Venom to do something with the Usual Suspect, or you know, Rob, you do something with us over at ToonGrin, you're gonna have to ask the opposite party because, okay, for example, if it was just us and it's like, Taylor, we gotta do it. We gotta do a crossover with Cinematic Venom. And it's like, hey, Fred. Yeah. It looks kind of weird when people start asking left and right. That's why you sort of have to have the fan base interact with the audience to sort of help it. But don't hound. For the love of God, let's make that abundantly clear. There's a colossal difference between asking and hounding.
Was there anything you wish you could have added into the doc that you didn't? You know what? I thought of this earlier, and it's really annoying that Boldly Flee all the way through.
What do you mean, like the whole movie?
Movie.
Isn't that thing like 3 hours long?
Okay, fair enough. But there's basically halfway through, there's like a musical number, and Doug starts singing. It's a distraction. And I just thought that would be perfect to show whenever they did like a false apology. Like, it's a distraction. I was like, that would have been so good. I showed people looking miserable in the behind the scenes of Suburban Nights as well. That's about it.
Were you able to reach out to any of the personalities to get, or anyone? Is there anyone you missed that you kind of wish you reached out to get for the documentary?
I think I mean, all the footage. I think some people thought I interviewed people. I didn't. They were all archived clips. But I think I got everything. I mean, there's also stories with Lord Cat.
Oh yeah.
But
there's a shit show surrounding Lord Cat.
I've only just found out about the Diamanda Hagen thing. If you guys don't know about that, Google it, because I don't want to get into that here, but it's really messed up.
Oh God.
So the Lord Cat stuff, I just think was more, and you know, if he hears this and shits on me, I apologize. I might misunderstand, but I think it was more him having issues with the other producers and not the higher ups at Channel Awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what I basically read as well.
You mentioned in the documentary you were shut down at one point by Channel Awesome and had a spat with Tamara Chambers that you worried people could criticize you for being vindictive. I've had that. Well, Channel Awesome rejected me in 2010 and I started doing videos of them in 2018. I'm not going to hold a grudge for 8 years. Tamara reached out now and just wanted to talk civilized privately to sort out our issues. I'd be down. Like I don't think Tamara's rad level, but I'd happily talk to Tamara.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something. If you could have Channel Awesome apologize for 2 things and admit guilt on one, which of the slights would you pick?
Okay.
I don't know, man. I think that Justin thing's like the big one. Like,
yeah. So, obviously the Justin one, and probably 2. Now I'm like, where do I start? I think the Alison one, just because I think the way she was, I mean, obviously Kaylin was treated horribly and bullied, but like the way Alison was let go after so many years was just so careless.
Yeah,
Does Doug deserve a death? Okay, let's move on.
Okay, yeah.
What we got here? You and ToonGrin should review that Tom and Jerry Willy Wonka. Isn't it just a Willy Wonka like scene for scene copy?
Yeah, basically,
it is.
just what Tom and Jerry slapped in.
Yeah, and like, so you're sitting here, you're like, well, this doesn't have the charm of Gene Wilder, so that's already a problem. But then it's just like, there's a cat and a mouse, and all of a sudden in my head, I'm just thinking, this factory is disgusting. There is rodents and felines just running around. Running amok in this candy factory. This is not hygienic.
Do you think aspiring producers looking to do their own review show or channel could learn from the Channel Awesome fiasco? Don't protect rapists.
Yeah, that's rule number 1.
Damn it, Rob! What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. You gotta go home. Oh, what a rip!
I think. You know what? I think the big difference. Like, I really like Angry Joe. Joe's one of them that I've never actually interacted with. I've interacted with a lot of former Channel Awesome producers. I've never spoken to Joe personally on Twitter or anything. But I think Joe is such a down-to-earth guy because obviously Channel Awesome got and they ignored it. Yeah. And then I think it was last year or the year before, Joe was getting a lot of abuse in his YouTube comments because he wasn't doing movie reviews as much. And instead of ignoring it, and instead like denying it or something, he did a video and he basically, I guess he did deny it technically, but he like had the dates and the amount of reviews he did each year and just basically explained how he wasn't doing any less and it wasn't any different. And then his subscribers understood. And I think interaction is a huge one and understanding your audience, whereas like I say, Doug doesn't interact with even the people he collaborates with, let alone his own audience.
Yeah, it's
Well,
sort of,
as indicated by his inability to record commentary.
Yeah.
it's basically like the key
Any
sort
plans
of
for
like
future-
note. Basically, the key note is basically honesty and transparency is what these sort of like content creators should have in a sense. Like obviously,
Well,
we're not always gonna know everything about every one of your creators or anything like that. But if something's wrong, being transparent with your audience is the best policy. Because if your audience finds out afterwards, you're screwed.
Yeah, in the end, I'd rather come forth on something and tell you guys the truth, even if it's like a sucky thing where it's like I've been working on an editorial right now for the better half of 2 months, and it's just taking so much longer than anticipated that I'm losing steam on working on it. But I'd rather come forth and tell you that directly where it's like, I'm having trouble on this video, it's taking longer than I anticipated, as opposed to being like, oh, it'll be out soon. Like, there's no point to like blow sunshine up your butt and lie about it, because if like when the lie gets out, that's it. Because trust is a very brittle thing. It is like rice paper, and you have to be careful with it, because once trust is broken, it is the hardest thing to get back. So you don't want to risk that. And being open, like Rob, I have such an admiration and respect for you since your video where you just talked about on the exposed video where you publicly apologized, where you're like, I was a bit of a shit and I own up to it. That literally makes you better than Channel Awesome, which was, so here are all these things. And like, Rob, you didn't owe anybody anything. Like, you could have just been like, fuck it, and that's it. But you,
after I was exposed with public tweets.
That's right. But like,
She-Rod says. Yeah, She-Rod says, any plans for future videos on Channel Awesome? You know what? I was thinking, like, what else can I do? And then, I mean, other YouTubers do videos reacting to like Reddit and stuff. It might be fun if I just go through Channel Awesome subreddit. I mean, I had a browse earlier, and most of it is saying how much of a dick I am, and people calling the producers babies. But there's probably some fun content I can make out of that.
Right.
Oh yeah. I mean, I mean, maybe even try doing like, try not to cringe challenge, and it's just like a bunch of composites of old Channel Awesome videos and be like, wow, some of these things, man, they aged like milk.
Yeah. If Doug and Rob admit what they were doing was wrong, would you forgive them?
No. But I would have a slight bit of like, well, at least you owned up. That's how you start the healing process of being like proof that you're a better person, is you own up to it, as opposed to like, oh, you basically told us to like go fuck off for so long. I mean,
if you could make another doc on another YouTuber who has a dark side, who would it be? Also, would you consider doing it as a series, like Internet Historian? Well, it was a series. Channel Awesome was technically the second episode, but a good one, because I actually quite like Logan Paul now, and I think he's had a huge change in the past year. PewDiePie might be a good one.
Hey,
Chris Chan, oh god, Chris Chan, I forgot about Chris Chan.
is that the guy who maced somebody over Sonic the Hedgehog?
Possibly,
I'm pretty sure there's a parody of him in Sonic Boom.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts on PewDiePie? I quite like PewDiePie. Subscribe to PewDiePie. What else we got here? If you could Thanos snap one of the three main heads at Channel Awesome, who would you choose? You know what? I'm so annoyed that people let Doug get away with anything.
Yeah.
It would be Doug. Like, they could see a video of Doug strangling a cat.
Yeah, then they would be fine
look,
with that.
he's petting the cat. Look.
Whoa, wait. Hold on a minute, Rob. What kind of cat? We're talking tabby? We're talking Siamese here? Yo,
a black tabby. Black tabby.
Oh, maybe they had it coming. I mean, look how that cat was wearing its collar. It was asking for it.
Oh yeah, that's just a petty thing to get angry over. Anyone else got any questions? Who's Chris Chan? I'll Google it.
Yeah, hit that with the probably worth the Google.
Have you heard of I hate 8 Crazy Nights personally.
Yeah.
Taylor, weren't we supposed to have a meeting with the guy who directed that?
Yeah, it's still thing we still can, but I more just watched the movie when I was much younger, and I was just like, it's very pretty, annoying though.
To be fair, I liked it as a kid as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Hockey Bird actually brings up something. He said, as someone out of the loop, what was Brad been saying? Brad's basically been very flippant about the whole thing, so that when he was on Double Toasted, it was like, scribbly doo, it's all gonna pass anyways. And I guess he wasn't wrong because it did.
Yeah, it sort of
He called it.
Yeah, it sort of brought up like the most crucial point where he actually compared it to like the Logan Paul situation in Suicide Forest. We'd be like, oh, Logan Paul did that and he still has a career. He also apologized.
Would you do videos about people on YouTube or other social media who have little or no follow? Yeah, I'd be down.
Yeah.
About people who are still friends with the Walkers, whether it's James Rolfe, Andre Meadows, Greg Sestero, or anyone else, or in Brad's case. The guys from Double Toasted, I don't think they should be hated for it. Now, I understand why, like, Brad's still friends. Apparently, Brad's, like, marriage ended, like, a few years ago, and he had a financial difficulty, and Doug was just there for him. So I get the loyalty of remaining friends. And if Brad hadn't tweeted that stuff about Applebee's, and if he didn't do the Double Toasted interview, I'd treat him like James Rolfe, where I'll be like, okay, I'm disappointed that you still work with them, but it's whatever, you do you.
Yeah.
But he insulted all the victims.
Yeah, I mean, he came out where it's just like, oh, people are bitching about stuff. What is it? You know, in a few weeks, people aren't even care. It's like, you were so flippant about the fact, like, this stuff happened. Really egregious stuff happened. Why are you so flippant about it? Like, it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's really weird, because, like, it makes you come off like, maybe he was a colluder. We don't know.
Hey, here's a good one. Is it time to move on from Channel Awesome? In a lot of ways, that it seems like we have moved on from Channel Awesome in our own sort of creative ways.
Well, Channel Awesome has moved on from Channel Awesome. They changed it to, I mean, like, they made, like, a YouTube channel, which is like, what was the point of having Channel Awesome even around when you have the YouTube channel then?
Yeah. If you could pick one ex-producer to be given control of Channel Awesome, who would you pick? That is a good question. I'd say either Joe or Lewis. I think they both have more of an understanding.
Yeah. I think Lewis would be pretty solid. I've talked with Lewis. We've both met him at conventions, and he seems like a right fella. You know, he seems like a cool guy.
Yeah, he seems personable. He seems he knows technology. Obviously, he could record a commentary.
Have you seen any of Brad Jones' movies? I've seen the Cinema Snob movie, which is actually pretty good.
Oh, is it?
It is. It's just kind of expecting something like Kick-Assy or something, but it is actually a very clever concept, and there are some brilliant moments.
Oh, no.
I never saw it because I remember when it was coming out, and I was like, man, it's like everybody and their grandma wants a freaking movie about something. Like, Spoonie was allegedly working on a...
Yeah.
I don't even know
you still might see it. I mean...
might be the
key
key word.
With his live streams. Yeah.
I haven't even followed Noah since the probably since the meltdown.
Yeah.
So I mean, the last thing I remember him doing that I was watching was I was loving his, and then just like that's it. Like he just ghosted.
Yeah.
So I think we'll wrap this up. You know, Rob, is there any you wanna plug yourself and all the places where the good?
Yeah, just follow me everywhere. Cinematic Venom is on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Go subscribe and unsubscribe from Channel Awesome.
There you go.
Question: Cinematic Venom, does it have anything to do with the Marvel antihero?
I had the name before that movie came out.
Oh, dude, Venom existed long before that movie. I just meant in general. When you came up with it for when was the comic out? 90s. I mean, like, Venom's an old character. He's been around for quite some time.
Yeah.
If it was after 91, that's when I was born, so I came up with it first.
Fair enough.
Just in 1992, it's like Cinematic Venom. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it happened.
I can't wait till I'm old enough and some pachinko-headed asshole ruins the lives of countless people on the internet, which doesn't fully exist yet.
That kid's gonna go places, I swear to God.
But yes, to subscribe to Cinematic Venom, you can actually go to a link just right below this video that says, like, Cinematic Venom. Just go subscribe and watch the downfall of Channel Awesome with audio and all that. Because
yeah, guys. So, support creatives like Rob here. Hardworking, creating great content. And I do hope that you'll continue to push the Change the Channel movement, because I don't think... It's not a matter of, like, forgive or forget. It's a matter of... Do we really want this to happen to new people who try to join that channel? Like, do we really... Like, for those of us who felt so bad about this, like, do we really want some innocent people to stumble into this?
yeah. And we don't want other companies to basically become another Channel Awesome. We need to learn from what Channel Awesome did, just so that we can avoid it in the future.
I always think back to Kratos from the new God of War that came out, I believe, last year, which I've dubbed Dad of War. But I always think of a phrase he said where Kratos had said, "We must be better than this." And I think that's the thing, is that if you're a supporter of Channel Awesome, that's your prerogative. If you can sleep soundly knowing that you're giving views and money to individuals that did these detestable things, and you're fine with that, that's your prerogative. That's on you. That's on your conscience. And if you can sleep at night knowing that, then more power to you. And that's how I feel, is that we must all be better than this. And I really do want to thank you for making the documentary and taking the time and the effort to bring to light stuff that might have been forgotten, stuff that might never have even originally seen the light. And I think if you are going to do follow-ups to this endeavor and, keep that fire going, I think you should consider seeing if you can get interviews with individuals and try doing that for your channel and having them speak their mind about some of the situations that happened.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think so. If you guys want, you could subscribe to Cinematic Venom in the links below, as well as to our channel, our Twitch. You could donate to help keep the lights on, keep the gears greased, keep us going strong. And, let's all try and be a little bit better, And if you guys see a young, fresh channel trying to get their way in the world, lend a helping hand, because in this vast ocean of videos, it's kind of hard to get noticed. So being like a little lifeboat and helping out like a slightly drowning channel, it's a nice thing to do. It's something I think we all would have loved to have had our original channels.
Yeah, definitely. Just being good to one another.
Yeah. So with that said, Rob, we appreciate you for even agreeing to this, because we're basically nobody.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And I'm pretty sure, by the way, this will in no way help you from being on our channel.
Oh wait, Nero, we're not going to be on Channel Awesome anymore.
Oh, how am I supposed to know how to defend all these sexual predators if I don't have the proper people to turn to?
God dang it.
Life's ruined. I'm fed up with this world. But thanks for stopping by, Rob. I really appreciate you for allowing me to reach out to you and even agreeing to such a feat, because I have reached out to other channels in the past that are like, "You're nothing. Why would I do this? Why would I waste my time?"
Thanks for having me.
Dude, you were a delight.
Yes, you are. Agreed.
You were an utter delight to have, and clearly you made the show more classy than it actually is. Just by association. So with that said, guys, we're gonna wrap up. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share, of course, spread the word, change the channel. And as always, be sure to tune in
to ToonGrin. See you, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.